Hello everyone, you're watching Data Analytics Professionals and I'm Shahnaz Malik. Let's quickly jump into today's lecture topic. Now to begin with, I would like to remind all of you that you are watching a lecture series on AWS and Machine Learning. And current topic of this lecture is going to be about AWS identity and access management, and we are going to touch IAM features. This is lecture number 5 of this series. Now, to begin with, IAM gives you the following features, and number 1 on the list is shared access to your AWS account. What does that mean? That you can grant other people permission to administer and use resources in your AWS account without having to share your password or access key. Now, second in the list is granular permissions. And what does that mean? That you can grant different permissions to different people for different resources of AWS. For example, you might allow some users complete access to Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon Redshift, and other AWS services. For other users, you can allow read-only access to just some S3 buckets, or permission to administer just some EC2 instances, or to access your billing information but nothing else. And next in the list is secure access to AWS resources for applications that run on Amazon EC2. You can use IAM features to securely provide credentials for applications that run on EC2 instances. These credentials provide permissions for your application to access other AWS resources. Examples include S3 buckets and DynamoDB tables. Next in the list is multi-factor authentication, and which is also named as MFA. So by this, you can add two-factor authentication to your account and to individual users for extra added security. With multi-factor authentication, or your users must provide not only a password or access key to work with your account, but also a code from a specially configured device. Next in the list is identity federation. It's simple that with this you can allow users who already have passwords elsewhere, for example in your corporate network or with an internet identity provider, to get temporary access to your AWS account. Now let's talk about identity information for assurance. Here, if you use AWS Cloud Trail, you receive log records that include information about those who made requests for resources in your account. That information is based on IAM identities. Now, next in a list is PCI DSS compliance, and IAM supports the processing, storage, and transmission of credit card data by a merchant or service provider, and has been validated as being compliant with payment card industry data security standards. Well, if you need to have more information about PCI DSS, and including how to request a copy of the AWS PCI compliance package, then I suggest to go on the Amazon website and see PCI DSS level 1. That will help you to gain a bit more insights about it. Here, next in the list is integrated with many AWS features. Well, for this, for a list of AWS services that work with IAM, I suggest to and recommend to see AWS services that work with IAM. Okay, here I'm not going to go into details. I'm just sharing what IAM features are, and how they could be helpful in in your business and in managing an AWS account. Uh, Best way if you are interested in any feature which we are discussing here, I suggest to go on to the Amazon website and check it from there. Amazon Web Services you know site website, and check it from there. Now, eventually consistent, and by this I am, like many other AWS services, is eventually consistent, which is really important. IAM achieves highly availability by replicating data across multiple servers within Amazon's data centers around the world. If a request to change some data is successful, the change is committed and safely stored. However, the change must be replicated across IAM, which can take some time. Some changes include creating or updating users, groups, roles, or policies. Uh, um, yeah. So, however, I repeat, however, the changes. The change must be replicated across IAM, which can take some time, and such changes include creating or updating users, group, roles, or policies. We recommend that you do not include such IAM changes in the critical high availability code parts of your application. Instead, make IAM changes in a separate initialization or setup routine that you run less frequently. Also, be sure to verify that changes have been propagated before production workflow depend on them. And if you need more information on this, then I suggest to go on Amazon Web Services website and see the changes that I make are not always immediately visible. That will help you to, get more insights on it. Now, here is what every one of us love, and that is free to use. And here, it brings, IAM and AWS Security Token Service are features of your AWS account offered at no additional charge. You are charged only when you access other AWS services using your IAM users or AWS STS temporary security credentials. Should you require more information about the pricing of other AWS products, please see the Amazon Web Services pricing page for that. I have repeatedly, informed you, all of you guys, that even if you have started using AWS, created account in I think in lecture third, I recommended and I showed how we can create an AWS account. But I have reminded all of you, and I once again remind that not all services are free, and especially for first 12 months, whenever we open an account at the time of this recording, AWS uh, offers 12-month free trial access, but not all services are free. There are charges to some services, and for complete information, watch my previous lectures and take the suggestions from there. I repeat that you are fully accountable for any charges you will incur in the process. Now, test your progress. We have reached to a point where I suggest to pen down, which means, write down everything you learned from this and previous lectures about AWS or Amazon Web Services, especially about AWS Identity and Access Management, which is also named as IAM. By doing so, what you will understand, how much you are learning, and if there is a need to again go back from the scratch and watch these lectures again. Now, just for those who are interested, next topic of this lecture I'm planning and is going to be about identity and access management, and I'm going to talk about the users, okay, within this AWS identity and access management. And it's going to be wonderful. And now we are slowly starting to talk about users, and then we'll create users, we'll then talk about groups, and create groups, and then slow and steadily start using resources, and finally uh, move towards machine learning, which is our ultimate target. Now, before I end this lecture, I have a question, and that's how do you rate this lecture and the presentation? Please do submit your comments, and any constructive feedback is welcome, because I always love to receive feedbacks and improve as much as I can. This is an end of this lecture. But I suggest that data analytic professionals or DAP, has internet and social media footprints with its current and future plans. Sharing everything with you guys, and the DAP space is commendable. I'm working day and night on it, as much as time I can get. From other parts of my work. So watch this presentation until end to remain in touch with the DAP through various platforms. Okay. Now this is time to go back into studio with me, and here I am. So I hope that all of you have liked this lecture, and I do my best to present the material in the best way possible, and I have few more slides coming in, and they're very important and informative. Watch them until end, and I see you in the next lecture.